Hello, welcome to the Geeks4Streets podcast number 2, where we will go over stupid geeky shit and sometimes relevant information. I'm your host, Wyrmslayerz, along with our co-host, ViciousOne. Say hi, Vicious.
Hi, Vicious.
And Hazmatts, say hi.
Hola, mi amigos,
Konnichiwa! Okay. And starting from now, from all of our podcasts will be simultaneously recorded and streamed on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Wyrmslayer9. Join us then. In our introductory podcast, which is posted on Wyrmslayerz, if you missed it, make sure to go give it a view. As discussed in the last podcast, the topic to be discussed today is our favorite animes and why. And as I've concocted a bit of a game for my co-host here, we'll wait till the end to find out what. Let's start with the questions. Let's start with Hazmat. I'm under the impression your favorite anime is Bleach. Mind to tell us why?
So, the first anime that ever got me into anime was Naruto. Our older brother got me watching it. Kind of got into it, but then I kind of veered off and I found Bleach. And I got really absorbed. I really like the fighting scenes. I really like the artwork. I like how edgy and classic it is. Kind of fell in love with some of the characters, some of their abilities and things like that. And I just relate to the main character a lot. I even have a couple tattoos of him in different ways. Yeah, that's basically why. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, the first anime that we watched with our older brother was actually Dragon Ball. It wasn't Naruto.
I may get some hate for this, but I don't consider Dragon Ball an anime. I consider it a cartoon.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, I mean, yeah, yes and no. But anyway, let's get off this topic. Who's your favorite character in Bleach?
Typically my favorite characters in animes aren't the main character. But in Bleach, Ichigo is actually my favorite character.
All right. Why is that?
I relate to him a lot. So when it comes to it, he believes that he's a protector. He is omniverted like I am. Like he's a pretty introverted dude, but can be extroverted when he wants to be. He's got some demons. Literally some demons, a demon inside him. But he comes to accept the fact he is who he is. He embraces it, and he uses it for the betterment of society. And that's pretty much why.
That's understandable. Now, in most shonen anime, there are some pretty badass fight scenes, at least in my opinion. What was your favorite fight in Bleach, considering Bleach is a shonen anime?
My favorite fight scene, you said?
Fight, yes.
So a lot of people say the fight scene between Ulquiorra and Ichigo is their favorite because Ichigo goes full hollow, and it's a really, really badass fight scene. But it's actually my second favorite. My favorite fight scene is, and there's actually multiples of them, is when Ichigo fights Grimmjow.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my favorite fight scenes. I loved those fight scenes.
Ichigo versus Grimmjow was the first fight Ichigo ever did during his holification.
Exactly.
So it was new to him, so he didn't know exactly what was happening. So
yes, and it was badass, and I really like Grimmjow as a character too.
Yeah.
I like his backstory and everything else, and that's the thing with anime is that a lot of people will be like, that don't like animes think they're weird and things like that. But the thing is that every story or every character, and this happens a lot in Bleach too, like almost every character gets this really magnificent backstory, even the villains. And these backstories are just insane, and it makes you like almost feel for the character. It's like, I don't know who I want to win. Do I want Ichigo to win, or do I want Grimmjow to win? Do I want the good guy to lose? It's like that type of thing where it's like I can feel where he's coming from.
Yeah, I agree. I agree when the fight scenes aren't black and white, and where you feel for the villain as well. Those fights are definitely some of my favorite fights in any anime. Because when the fights where you know who you want to win, it's you know who's going to win, and it doesn't have a sense of, I guess, betterment, like say the fight versus Naruto versus Gaara. You know Naruto's going to win, so it doesn't impact you as well, you know. So is that kind of where you're getting at with the fight scenes like that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And another question for Hazmat. A lot of shonen anime have ecchi moments. Where it's awkward. Like, many people say, like, so this is the fight scene that I was watching, and then 10 minutes after that, my parents walk in, and then it's like this ecchi fucking awkward moment. Has that ever happened to you?
Absolutely. Not with parents, but like with roommates I've had and stuff. They walk in and be like, "Are you watching hentai?" I'm like, no.
Did that ever happen with Bleach? Because there's a couple ecchi moments in Bleach.
So the thing with Bleach that I like is because, like, I think ecchi moments are funny sometimes. I think it's a funny thing, but it's not something I'm actually into. And with Bleach, there's a couple of those moments, but not a lot. And a lot of those moments are actually more romantic than they are ecchi. So that's one of the things I like about Bleach is there's not a ton of that in it. So I don't think that's ever happened with Bleach, actually.
I mean, and a lot of times the ecchi moments with Bleach are actually blurred into the fight scenes. Like, the one time that I can think of really well is Nell versus that doctor dude.
Yeah, how her clothes just kind of all rip off when she transforms. Yeah, that's
funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move over to Vicious. We got quite a bit of information about Bleach if you want to check that out. It's Hazmat's favorite anime. Let's move over to Vicious. I'm under the impression your favorite anime is Seven Deadly Sins.
Well, yeah, I mean, honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't watch a whole lot of anime. I mean, I've watched ones that you guys have recommended to me, like the Seven Deadly Sins. For the life of me, I can't think of the one Hazmat had with the overly cautious hero.
Mm-hmm.
That one was pretty funny.
That one was straight, comedy.
It was funny.
Yep.
But I mean, honestly, it's not that I don't watch a whole lot of TV. I'm a mom, so I don't have a whole lot of time for that. So, but yeah, I enjoyed the Seven Deadly Sins. I would like to catch up on that any spare time that I have, and to watch more of the overly cautious hero because that's pretty. But I also think anime is very sexualized, especially in the female upper region.
Shonen anime, definitely. I will agree with you there.
Yeah.
But there is anime that is specifically for women, as well as kids. But anime is a lot more adult comparatively to
Well,
Western
I know there's anime
cartoons.
for kids. I mean, I think my daughters watch Glitter Force, which is an anime for kids.
Yeah, just like there's adult cartoons for adults, there is kid anime for kids. Animation will forever be this combative stance where, cartoons are for kids. That's not the case. Even if you think of westernized cartoons, you think of stuff like Family Guy, American Dad, where that is centralized and pushed for adult viewers, especially with the jokes in them.
I mean, I didn't say it was a bad thing. I think it is. I mean, I think the women in anime are very, very
bodacious,
sexualized. Yeah. And the outfits that they put them in are very, Mortal Kombat type outfits, original Mortal Kombat type outfits.
Yeah. Well, there is a gray point in that, and most of the types of animes that are pushed and watched are shonen fighting style animes where its main viewer audience are boys. So you gotta push that viewership somewhere. And that's where ecchi stuff comes in that you're talking about, Vicious. So, so now that we know that your favorite anime is Seven Deadly Sins, and why that is, you haven't watched very many, but your favorite was definitely Seven Deadly Sins. Who is your favorite character?
Okay, I have to say it's Meliodas. He's hilarious.
Yeah, I'll agree.
It's hilarious. The way he's constantly like trying to honk. The bodaciousness
Of Elizabeth.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
All right. And what was your favorite fight?
Well, and he's strong as hell. Like, he's a tiny little thing, but he'll kick your ass.
What was your favorite fight scene in Seven Deadly Sins?
I don't have a favorite.
Really? Mind you give us a list?
I don't. I mean, I enjoy all of them. I mean, all that I've seen so far.
All the fights that you've seen so far, you've enjoyed. What fights have you seen so far? So the game that I have concocted.
I've only seen like I think so far. I mean, I have to catch up on it because I think so far I've only been able to watch the first season.
Oh, there's a couple of questions I cannot answer. I cannot ask you unless you are okay with spoilers.
No, I don't want spoilers.
All right. Well, then I will have to erase some of my questions.
What's his name too? The one with the glasses.
The one with the glasses, Gunther.
Yeah, I like him.
He's
weird.
He's the goat son of pride, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he's weird. So I like him.
No, he's not the goat son of pride. Fuck, I fucked up.
No, Pride's the other one.
Pride's Escanor. The goat son of something. Gluttony?
I'm pretty sure he's Lust.
No. The person who's Lust is
The Borson?
No.
Merlin,
yeah. I think it's Gluttony. Gunther is the son of Gluttony.
Yeah, he's weird, so I like him.
Or is it the giant that's Gluttony? Well, in any case, I didn't make those questions. So let's skip over that. I will have to re-educate myself on that. Now, Hazmat, I asked that you ask me the same questions I asked you guys about my favorite anime.
Which is Naruto,
What's your favorite
right?
anime?
It is Naruto.
Yeah,
Okay.
those are, my kids like Naruto.
What?
Wait, hold up. The questions that I asked you guys about your anime. Well, you know what? Let's wait till the game. My favorite anime is Naruto, and I'll tell you why that is. It was the first anime that I was introduced to that I actually made friends in high school about. So I was kind of a loner for a long point of time, and I was kind of in my shell. And I used Naruto as a bridge between friendships, really. Because so many people in my school at the time liked Naruto, liked where it was going. So I had something in common that I could bond with people over. My favorite character in Naruto, oh, there's so many good ones. I don't want to be a fucking fuckboy and say Kakashi, because everyone's favorite character is Kakashi. But, I mean, there's a reason why Kakashi is so popular. I mean, I kind of like Guy Sensei, though, because through hard work and dedication, he became one of the strongest characters and sacrificed himself to protect everyone. Even though it didn't work, he still had that sacrifice, and had he just been an inch closer, he would have saved everyone, you know? And that self-sacrifice, I respect the shit out of. So Guy Sensei, but Kakashi's up there as well. What was your favorite fight? My favorite fight in Naruto would have to be Pain, the Pain fight. Even though the animation was fucking awful, it was still a pretty badass fight. Now, last question for you guys. Are you guys geeks?
Yeah.
I
Hazmat?
thought you wanted me to ask you questions.
Yes, 1 minute. Are you guys
Oh,
geeks?
okay. Duh.
Duh. You guys belong to the streets. Okay. Now, cue the game that I've made for Hazmat and Vicious. We'll start with Vicious. So I've concocted 10 questions. I'm going to erase some of your questions, Vicious, to not spoil anything for you. Considering you've only watched the first season. Had you watched the second season, I could ask you all of these questions, no problem. And I'm going to score you. It was going to be 1 out of 10. About how big of a fan you are. We know that you're a fan of Seven Deadly Sins. It's not like saying, haha, you're not an actual fan. It's more of a fun thing.
Wyrm, a question for you real quick.
What's up?
Can we, if we know the answer and they can't answer it, can we steal it?
No. I'm gonna get there.
Okay.
So, they have lifelines. You guys have lifelines. Say you don't know a question, you can ask one of the other hosts if they can answer the question for you, if they know it. But if they don't know it,
I don't want this word.
if they don't know it, then you get the point. Then nobody gets a point.
Nobody gets a brownie.
All right, Vicious. What is Meliodas' main power?
I said I don't want to be scored.
Fine, I won't score you. I'll score me and Matt, but still got to play the game. What is Meliodas' main power? Because it's fun.
Why is this fun?
Wow, Vicious doesn't even know anything. She's not even playing the game.
I didn't say I didn't know anything.
You know his power, Vicious. Stop playing.
All right, let's do Hazmat since Vicious is lame. What is Ichigo's? What is Ichigo? He is 3 things that I need all 3 things. Hey, Vicious, stop.
No, don't tell me what to do.
Ichigo actually is 4 things. Right?
Well, he's 4 things, but I'm not counting 1.
So Ichigo is a human.
Okay.
He's also a Soul Reaper.
Okay.
He's a Quincy.
Gotcha.
And he's a Hollow.
Perfect. Flying stars. What is Ichigo's first fight as a Hollow? We talked about this, actually. Grimjow. What was Ichigo's first fight during full holification?
Ilukiora.
Perfect. What form did Ichigo take to defeat Aizen?
He completed his full Getsuga Tensho.
It's actually final Getsuga Tensho, but I'll take full.
Yeah.
Did Ichigo lose his powers after fighting Aizen? This is a little bit trickier.
He did. He did lose his powers, but he actually was able to get them back through a process called what was it called? He became a full bringer.
Yes.
For a little while, and then the other captains from the Soul Society actually helped him get his full Soul Reaper powers back.
This is actually a trick question because he didn't lose his powers. He just lost a huge significant amount of it. And that's why after training, he was more powerful than he was before. He didn't lose his powers because he has 3 multi-facets of his powers, because he had his Quincy powers, Hollow powers, but he lost most of his Shinigami powers, which is the only powers he knew how to use at the time. So he didn't, but I will still give you the point because that was a dick move for putting this question in here of me. I actually researched it. Anyway, who was the person that awakened Ichigo's powers in the beginning?
Rukia.
Yep. Chad Sato is a what?
Chad Sato is a Fullbringer.
Perfect. Who does Ichigo end up with?
Who does he what?
Who does he end up with?
What is her name? He ends up with Orihime. Yeah, there we go.
Orihime, yeah. What is Ichigo's Zanpakuto name? Boop, 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 boop.
His
boop,
Zanpakuto name
boop, boop,
is...
boop, boop.
Is it Getsuga? No, it's not.
No, it is not. It is Zangetsu. Now, does this is another trick question. Does Ichigo have a true Zanpakuto?
Not in the beginning, he doesn't.
He doesn't ever, actually. But I'm going to give you that point.
He actually does end up with the true Zanpakuto later in the manga.
But his actual Zanpakuto is just a personification of his hollow and Shinigami powers. But after he...
How far are you in the manga? Because he does get his Zanpakuto.
I'm getting there. His Zanpakuto Zangetsu, after being forged by that one dude, I forget his name, becomes a true Zanpakuto, and it's actually 2. He gets 2. They're still personifications of his hollow and Shinigami powers through his swords, but yeah. So, you have a score of 8 out of 10, Hazmat. I mean, that is an A, but still. Vicious, are you going to start?
You did an A+.
So.
Jeez, I'm very disappointed in you.
So, Vicious, are you going to stop being lame and let me quiz you too?
I don't want to be quizzed. I haven't watched it in quite a while.
That's why I'm
So
only going to use...
I don't know that I can answer the questions.
So?
So?
Alright, well, Hazmat, time to quiz me.
Okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
Why don't you ask each other? Why don't you ask Hazmat about 7 Deadly Sins?
Actually,
and I'll try to answer them with him.
Hazmat, do you want to do that? Considering he was the one who made up these questions with me, that's not really fair, but yeah.
Ask what?
I'll try to answer them with him.
Alright, how about this? How about I ask you the question first, and then if you don't get it, Hazmat does it.
Yeah, because I probably won't. I haven't watched it in a while.
Alright, Vicious, what is Meliodas' main power?
He can clone himself.
No.
Uh-huh.
Hazmat, you wanna...
Yes, he can.
You wanna answer this for her?
I'm not wrong. He can.
Power?
What is Meliodas' main power?
So, like, basically what he's asking is what is Meliodas' passive ability? Like, that he can always do.
Yes.
Okay, what is that?
Like, what... I'll give you a hint. What does he use more often than anything else?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Like, from the beginning of the show. Full counter.
Oh, well, yeah.
What is Bond's secondary power?
That I can't tell you. It's
like his
literally
main,
been
like
a
his...
year since the last time I...
Like, Bond's main power is immortality. His secondary power, much like Meliodas' full power...
See? As you say them, I start remembering.
So, like Bond's secondary power, much like Meliodas' main power is full counter, what is Bond's secondary power? And I'll give you a hint here. Bond is the fox sin of greed.
And he's a thief.
And he is a thief.
Or a bandit.
Yeah, I remember. I can't remember all of their powers. Except for Merlin, because she's got a lot.
His power name is Fox Hunt. Alright,
Go ahead and just answer it.
Here's an easy one. What time of the day is Escanor's strongest?
Which one is she?
Escanor is a dude, and his power gets stronger during the day. What time of the day is Escanor's power the strongest?
I'm telling you, I haven't seen it in a year. I can't remember a lot of this.
Do you remember what Escanor's powers are, though?
Is he the fairy one?
No, that's King. Escanor's the dude that's really scrawny, but he transforms into this big buff dude. He's
nighttime.
No, his power is strongest during high noon.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
he
see,
gets his
it's been
powers
like
from the
forever
sun.
since I've watched it. See, I need to rewatch all this shit.
All right, what did Escanor use to defeat Estarossa?
I don't know that one.
Cruel Sun. What is Merlin's power?
She's got a lot of power.
Her power is literally named Infinity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's got them all. She can pretty much do whatever she wants. I love her.
Yeah. What is
I would have her.
What race is King?
He's a fairy.
Yeah, you got that one.
The Fairy King.
I see he's in love with the giant lady.
Yep.
What is... Oh, I can't ask these last 4 questions. They're spoilers. All right, well...
Just say them, because I'm going to have to rewatch all of it anyway.
How many brothers does Meliodas have?
Yeah, see, I wouldn't know that.
Yep, I told you. They're
2.
spoilers. He has 2. What is Elizabeth?
She's a princess.
Yes and no. I'm going to skip past that one. What is Meliodas?
He's a Meliodas.
He's a Meliodas. Okay. What is...
He's a Meliodas.
Yeah, and I'm not even going to ask what
He's
Hawk's
one of a
abilities
kind.
is.
He's a demon.
Yeah, Meliodas is a demon. Anyway.
Oh, see, I knew that one.
Yeah. All right, Hazmat, ask me the questions. Fire away.
Fire away. All right, we're asking Naruto questions.
We're asking Naruto questions.
Alrighty, so
Serenity could answer those.
what is Naruto's last
Hold on,
name?
I'm going to put Serenity on, because she could answer some of these Naruto questions.
Well, let Josh answer, or let Worm answer first.
Yeah.
But what is
Watch that
Naruto's
defense.
last name named after? Uzumaki.
I'll just ask her.
It's
What
named
was the
after
question?
it's named after a fish cake.
What was the question?
It's named after a fish cake, but it's also named after a spiral noodle.
Well, that's the same thing, really.
Okay. Here's another question. Are you caught up on the manga or no?
Did you fart again?
Jason, yes, the podcast is going great. What did you say, Hazmat?
How are you caught up on the manga or no?
I do not read the manga. I watched the anime for Boruto, and the manga I'm completely finished with.
Okay. That narrows it down. Alrighty. So here's another question for you. What happened with Kakashi when he was a child that had to do with his Sharingan?
So Obito, okay, so this is multifaceted. Obito was crushed, and he gave Kakashi his other eye that wasn't crushed. And Kakashi killed Rin for, I forget the reason, but he had to kill Rin, and it awakened his Mangekyo and Obito's Mangekyo Sharingan.
Correct. Okay. So, how does one go about obtaining the Mangekyo Sharingan?
Through intense pain.
Partially correct.
Normally, you'd have to kill someone close to you.
Yep, exactly. That's how you get the armor Tretsu. All right. Here's another question. Hold on. Jason said Ren was suicidal and jumped in the way of Kakashi and killed her. Partially correct, Jason.
Yeah.
All right. So, next question. Did Sakura ever love anyone besides Sasuke?
Okay, well, this is a trick question. Because even though she did say at one point she loved Naruto, that was to get Naruto to stop chasing Sasuke, especially after when they found out the Akatsuki was after Naruto.
think next week we should do a supernatural podcast and supernatural ending.
I would be 100% down for that.
Also, there's 2 new episodes of Supernatural we haven't watched yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And tomorrow's the last one, so I think next week it should be a supernatural podcast.
I am down for that.
Yeah. Okay. So, here is a Boruto question, because it's, it's still Naruto. It's Boruto.
It's an offshoot.
Yeah. So, Boruto. What do we know now as far as Boruto's abilities?
We know that Jogun is given through, I forget the name of the Atsuki, defeating an Atsuki, and that the Jogun is used to see things that happen before they happen, much like when people use Renin Sharingan or Reningan's powers for travel.
Cool. Yep. That's pretty much what we know now, yeah. Let's see. How many questions have I asked you so far? I haven't been keeping track. I'll make sure we got enough questions here.
Yes, Jason, we are. I'm sorry for interrupting, Hazmat. Yes, we are going to let the viewers vote on the subject of the next podcast. But considering the fact that not very many viewers view the podcast as of now, we are just doing the subjects that we think would be interesting to talk about. And this is, I've answered 5 questions of Naruto now, so now we need 5 more questions, Hazmat.
5 more questions. Okay. So, in the Genin trials,
Okay.
Kakashi tells something to Boruto that really resonates with him and kind of sets him apart from his peers. What is it that he tells him when he's defeating Boruto?
I don't remember this.
That he is at a Jonin level.
Gotcha. Alright, so I've missed one.
Okay.
Fuck.
I'm trying to think of another really good question I could ask you here. Let's think. I wanted to ask a classic Naruto question.
Cool.
Let's see. All right, so Gaara, okay?
Okay.
Gaara, when he's a boy, goes through some trials.
Gotcha.
Okay. What is it that Gaara experiences that basically makes him evil for a while?
The person that was taking care of him dies because the person that was taking care of him and he eventually came to love, much like a parental figure, tries to assassinate him because his father actually asked him to do it, and he was forced to because his father was Hokage at the time. And that's when he actually makes the tattoo love on his forehead.
Gaara, later on, while he's Kazekage, receives an ability from his mother. Do you know what it is?
I know during his fight with Madara, he uses his sand in the shape of a mother to protect everyone. I'm not exactly sure what you're getting at with his mother.
He gets gold sand.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Who'd you say your favorite character was?
My favorite character in Naruto is Guy Sensei.
Guy Sensei. Does Guy Sensei ever die?
Close, but no.
What is the third gate called?
Oh, shit. The gate of opening. The gate. I think the third gate is the gate of pain. The gate of pain.
Let's see. Let's see if you're right. Because I don't know this one either.
Jason says willingly tried to kill Gara because that was his uncle and he was mad that he was killed at his sister at birth. Yes, but if I remember correctly, the Kazekage actually asked for him to do it.
So the third gate is actually the gate of life.
Okay, so I missed
The
two
fourth
questions.
gate is the gate of pain.
Yeah, so I've missed two questions now. That was a bullshit question and you know it.
I had to ask you a hard one. How many do I have left?
You have two questions left.
2 questions left. So, Naruto doesn't ever actually meet his dad in person, right? But there were two.
He does, kind of.
He never actually physically alive when he meets his dad.
Yeah.
But there are 2 men in Naruto's life who act as father figures.
Yep.
Who are these men?
His Jiraiya Sensei and the sensei he had at the beginning. I know it starts with an I. Iruka Sensei.
Yep, Iruka and then Jiraiya. Yeah. All right, last question.
Ramen guy isn't his father figure. He feeds him ramen.
Ramen guy. He does buy him a bowl.
It was Ichiraku. He's thinking of Ichiraku. I mean, yeah, he does feed Naruto.
All right, so here we go. Last question for you.
Yeah, but Iruka was his actual father figure at his wedding with Hinata.
Does Jiraiya ever come back from the death?
No, he does not.
Technically, he does.
How?
His DNA comes back from death.
Okay.
Jiraiya was cloned. And manga spoilers, if you guys haven't read the manga.
That doesn't count. I told you I didn't even read the Boruto manga. Give me a different question.
Jiraiya gets cloned. If you don't want to hear spoilers, you can just dip here, sorry. But Jiraiya actually is cloned, and he is actually in the Boruto manga as a Jiraiya clone. We're not sure if he's alive or not right now, though. He just went through a really intense fight. And his name is... what is his name? I don't remember. I honestly don't remember his name, but he's really badass. He actually has boiler toads that he summons. And he has all of the same abilities as Jiraiya, basically. And he... I personally think that he has Jiraiya's memories. So he basically is Jiraiya. But we don't know for sure yet.
Alright, give me another question. That was bullshit.
Let's see. What's a good question? I wanna ask a really good one. What? Sorry, it's gonna take me a minute. Because I don't have this one planned out, so I gotta think of a good one.
I told you should have it planned out. Naruto. I know a lot about Naruto, fam.
The rest of the Naruto ones I basically did have planned out in my head, but this one I gotta think. When is the first time Naruto uses one of the foxtails as a child?
As a child.
The very first time he ever uses the Nine Tails chakra with one tail.
See, this is a trick question too, because during his training with Jiraiya, he turned into 2 tails, but during his fight with Sasuke, he had 1 tail. But we don't know the exact. Yeah, we don't know the exact timeline though. Like during his training with Jiraiya, he could have went 2 tails before the fight with Sasuke, or it was happened after. We don't know the exact timeline. But the first tails that we've ever seen, he's opened the Nine Tails chakra, and the Nine Tails chakra leaked out way before then during his fight with Haku. I think that was his name.
Nice. You got most of them right. I didn't keep track.
I got the same score you did, only because a couple of your questions were bullshit.
Oh, yeah?
Anyway, that ends our game and ends our discussion. We might have more games. I might have a supernatural question game. Maybe Becky will actually... Vicious.
Hey, Jason wants to ask a question.
Will actually participate this time. Yes, you can ask a question. This is actually the time that we would ask people viewing questions. What question do you want to ask, Jason? Bum, 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 bum. All right, while Jason is getting ready to ask his question, we'll have another game much like this one.
My name is Vicious. Becky.
Well, everyone knows our names.
One. Can I answer this?
What was the first jutsu Naruto mastered? Yes, go for it.
The sexy jutsu.
I mean,
Yes, it is.
Technically, the first one he mastered was Shadow Clone, but at the same time, Sexy Jutsu was the first one he used.
Yeah, he mastered that one.
Yeah.
Shadow Clone was the first forbidden jutsu he mastered.
Yeah. Anyway.
So how come in the Naruto universe, like, Shadow Clone is like a forbidden jutsu, but like everyone fucking uses it? I never understood that.
Dude, there's so many jutsus that are fucking forbidden. The reason Shadow Clone was a forbidden clone technique, if I remember this correctly, is Shadow Clone, you retain the information after your clone disperses, which is why it was used for training. When you use Shadow Clone jutsu and after your clone disperses, you actually experience those memories from your clone.
That's pretty cray.
Yeah, that's why Naruto used it to train when he was training for Sage mode, because he retained that information. Other clone techniques, like water clone techniques, that doesn't happen, which is why it was a forbidden jutsu. Which is why it was a forbidden jutsu in the Hidden Leaf. Yeah, the other clones are just illusions and whatnot. So that's
that
why.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Now, our next discussion will be about Supernatural. I'll cue a game and trivia for Hazmat and Vicious, and all I ask Hazmat and Vicious do is to, if you guys want to, for the next game, ask me questions as well, make questions for me as well. Since Hazmat made questions for me this time, I asked Vicious to make questions for me. I know Vicious will probably like that, considering the fact that this is Supernatural for the next game. And
Vicious
then
still here?
What?
Vicious? Oh, she's here.
Yeah.
Oh, she was a good name.
Yeah, and our next discussion will be about Supernatural. Every recording and every stream for the ongoing future for the Geeks4Streets podcast will be on Twitch, streamed on Twitch on Wednesdays. And we will post the times that we are going to be going a couple of days before in the Discord.
We would love suggestions for topics.
Yes,
Yeah,
give us.
if you guys, since we didn't get our first one streamed here on Twitch, if you guys want to see our first introductory podcast explaining kind of what we're doing here and our backgrounds and where you can find our socials and stuff, go to Wyrm's YouTube channel.
Yeah, and these recordings of the podcast will also be posted on YouTube. So that will be on
And if
my
you watch
channel
it on
as well.
YouTube, you can put your suggestions on YouTube as well.
Yes, absolutely. That's actually where we're going to be getting our suggestions. So if you want to have suggestions for the next podcasts, post them in the YouTube comments on the latest podcast. And unless we don't get a lot of suggestions for the next one, we will be doing Supernatural. And join us if you want to see us live. If you want to ask us questions live, it'll be on Twitch. And if you don't, just post it on YouTube. And I'll see you guys then. Peace.
Stay in the streets, geeks.